in North Dakota. So that was one, talking about how the bow hunters like to go out a couple weeks of the year before the firearms, and then they go to the Theodore Roosevelt Park and like to hunt for mule deer there. So that was kind of interesting to see their survey on that.
Isn't that what? So they can legally go hunt in Theodore?
Yeah, so there's like certain areas that they can. I think it's like just outside. I don't know if it's technically exactly right in the park, but the general area.
I was gonna say,
Wherever
like, I
there's
feel like
land.
that defeats the purpose of the park.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of land that's around it. So
Right. So okay, what did you give your paper on? What did you? You're studying genes. Did you say you found any genes or what?
yeah, so we're just getting our first data back, but it was looking at EHT and CWD and looking at two genes that could affect those diseases.
Okay. Did people ask you questions and stuff or no?
At the conference, no one asked questions, but at the department meeting, I got some questions. Yeah.
Well, that's because everybody knows you. That's a little Did anybody ask questions at the elk study or no?
Ask questions about the elk study?
Yeah, I thought the whole point of these like conferences is like you go there so you show off what you're working on for your research, and then people ask questions about it and they answer said questions after they give their presentation. Is that not how this works?
Yeah, we're expecting questions, but so our study probably dives a little more into genetics than most wildlife people know, so it probably was more that. Plus, we didn't have any data yet, so it's kind of early stage.
Oh, so they were just like, Psh, just look at these kids over here. They don't have any data. But they were also what's a gene? I don't know what a gene is.
Yeah, so it's kind of a change up for them. They did all, like they said, you did good work and stuff after, but yeah, I think it was tough for them to kind of incorporate into some of the state reports and stuff that they were going over, so it's kind of a different tone, so.
I feel like they should be on the watch though, because I feel like gene studies of wildlife is going to become it's going to become a very large thing in the future as gene technology improves. I feel like we're going to be wanting to study the genes of animals more and more and more. It's going to become a part of these other like wildlife studies.
Yeah, so actually Upper Midwest is one of the few places where there's a lack of study on white-tailed deer and mule deer, genetically speaking.
Really?
Yep, so the East Coast and West Coast have done a lot more studies overall on both of them, so...
We're behind the times.
Kind of yeah, so that's kind of interesting to look at a map and see all the different studies that have been done across the
You're
states.
leading the charge here, sir.
I don't know about that, but yeah, so I added EHT to my project a couple months ago.
EHT, what is...
EHD.
Oh, PhD.
Episodic hemorrhagic disease. No, episodic hemorrhagic disease.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was an E. And the second time you said that, I heard a P. I'm like, what?
No, you're good. Sorry, my throat's just a little dry.
Bro, take a gulp. Take a drink. So.
But yeah, so they added that. It was looking at a new gene out of Illinois that could affect EHD susceptibility.
Oh, wow. So Illinois populations. Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of looking to see if that's in North Dakota and if it plays a role.
And so that's what you're looking for. That's on your goals.
Yep, so that's the one covering EHD, and then CWD, it's looking for a slow progression gene.
Okay. Do you think you will find... So I guess if you do find the EHP or EHD or whatever the heck it is, if you do find said gene, are you going to be interested in doing a follow-up? Or will you give this over to somebody who's studying... or I guess if you were to say go for a PhD, would you partner with somebody who specializes in migrational patterns of deer.
Yes, that's a good question. I'm curious to see if we'll find it first. But yeah, whoever does do it, if it's me or someone else, would have to do it through North Dakota, and then probably just take migrational studies and incorporate that into it.
I can't imagine deer migrating that far. That's a long ways.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you incorporate a bunch of different stuff. It would probably be like over a long, long period that it would
Right.
have been spread across, not like just a single deer.
Right.
But yeah, I'll be curious to see if it's any of the populations. I think Illinois gets EHD a lot worse than here, so I'll be curious to see if it's here.
Do the deer. So, I guess. Do we know how farming affects deer migrational patterns? If deer migrate at all? Because I feel like in the summertime, when there's a plethora of food, I just feel like, not even the summertime, but I just feel like more now. I feel like deer just don't need to go somewhere unless the snow gets deep, because that's the same thing with the cattle. The cows can stay out in the stalks basically until it's time to calve. Some places just leave them out there basically all winter. But if the snow gets too deep, we have to go feed them, or we decide just to bring them back. In general, which is always interesting. Do you think deer follow the same thing? I guess they probably just die then. A lot of them.
Yeah, so they know for a fact that farmland, the deer move differently. As far as the winter part, it's the exact same thing where if the snow gets deep, they will come into like towns or farms to find food.
Well, didn't you say you saw a lot of deer up in Grand Forks in the winter? Because when the snow got too deep.
Yep, exactly. By March, they were all in the city pretty much coming in at night to get food.
Right, right. I thought that's what you had said.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to look at how different barriers and stuff affect deer movement, such as rivers.
Oh yeah, not like they're gonna be crossing on the one of the roads, one of the bridges on the over the, was it the Red River, right? Up there?
Yep, Red River, and then out west is the Missouri, which is pretty much what separates western North Dakota to the east.
Right. Yeah, I can't imagine deer trying to cork up and, what is it called? An Oregon Trail. What the heck do they call when they cross a river?
Ooh, I have no idea.
There's a name for it. I can't remember the name though, unfortunately.
I do not know.
Oh well, doesn't matter. It's gone.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to take a look and see where those genes, if they are there, where they're at in North Dakota, and if they're isolated barriers or not.
Right.
So that'll be kind of what we're looking at.
Trying to think here. Okay, so at the department meeting, what kind of questions did they ask about your study?
So there was one asking what types of flies cause the EHD.
Oh, so
In
is
North
that
Dakota.
a transmission? We look at flies that can transmit this?
So for EHD, it is a viral disease caused by biting midges. So yeah, that's what causes it.
Interesting. Okay. So they asked what species?
Yeah, it was like a Cudiolis. I forget the exact one I had to find, but yeah. So basically for EHD, there's a lot worse outbreaks when there's a drought because the deer kind of group up to find water, and that's exactly where the biting midges are at because they like warm, stale water.
Right,
So.
right.
Increases outbreaks that year.
I could imagine if that's how that works.
Yeah, and
Can the
it's a lot more fatal in white-tailed deer compared to mule deer, like probably 10 to 1 or something like that. It's pretty high.
white-tailed deer, they're wussy deer, you know.
Huh. Yeah, they do die pretty easy.
Yeah. They're a worthless animal.
Huh. Worthless. I don't know about that.
I wouldn't say worthless, but they're a weak animal.
Yeah, they are. They are sometimes stupid.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, so that was one question. What else was there? They asked about if we were looking for a potential variation that affects EHD and CWD, which we would be. We just don't know if there is one.
Right, because you're trying to discover these things.
Yeah, so that'd be cool to find, but that's pretty much a silver bullet that probably doesn't exist. Yeah, those were the main ones.
I guess so. How many more? Is it? How close are you being done with your study? I mean, because you said because next year's your last year up in North Dakota.
Yep. Yeah, so I got one more year, and then we had to send off another batch of samples that we're working on right now. Get that back in the spring, and then I'll start writing up my final defense.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but it should be worth it.
And then you'll get your master's, and you'll be graduated.
Yes, sir.
And then what?
That is a good question.
You don't know yet. That's okay.
I don't. So either do a job at a state, more research, or a PhD. So one of those many options I have to figure out.
So many things, so little, so many things to do.
Yeah, it's a lot to do in a year, but yeah, I'm liking the project. So
Okay, so you got to go to Theodore then afterwards. Was it snowing by that point?
no, this was right in the middle of fall. It was really beautiful out. It was like 75 the whole time.
Okay, 70. Wow, all right, that's probably warmer than it was here.
Yeah.
What is Theodore? Because all the national parks I've been to thus far, or at least the ones that I can remember, anyways. The 6 of the 8 that I can remember. There's a theme, right? So Rocky Mountains is the mountains. There's meadows. Yeah. There's the high up tundra, and then then you have Black Canyon, which is the canyon. It's literally just the canyon. It's deep canyon. Okay, that's the defining feature. Okay, then there's Mesa Verde, which is obviously the mesa itself, but then the ruins. I can't. The ruins.
The cave ones are upside down.
What?
The ones like in the actual canyon.
Yeah. Why can't I think what the heck they're called? They have a name. Anyways, I keep thinking petroglyphs, but yes, there were petroglyphs, but that wasn't the main reason. Anyways, and then there's Great Sand Dunes. Obviously, it was the sand dunes and some of the mountains, but mountain's a mountain, whatever. And then there's Petrified Forest. I don't think I need to go much further than that. It's the wood. You're there for rocks. And then the last one, actually I was there before as a national park, is the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. So the Arch, it's a man-made.
That's a national park now?
Yeah.
That's odd.
The dumbest national park, because all the other national parks, because there's a gorge in Virginia's one of the new ones. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a big all the pictures have this bridge going over it. Well, the national park is supposed to be the area underneath the bridge. But everyone takes a picture of the bridge. So obviously whatever is underneath the bridge is not that remarkable. But in the case of the arch, it's literally the arch. Because I've been there. Underneath is just concrete and grass.
Exciting.
And maybe a part of the river, but like the river has been completely terraformed and stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to preserve where Lewis and Clark landed or started their journey is kind of mute. So what's the theme there? What is Theodore Roosevelt National Park? Because I get the vibe that it's just like wilderness.
It's pretty much just the Badlands. They're very rugged.
But I thought it was like forests and stuff.
I mean, no, it's like the Badlands.
Oh.
Like it's part of the Badlands, so it's very rugged. Get some high not mountains, but more like bluffs and hills. But yeah, it's pretty open. Really lack of trees, but very rugged. We were in the more not as rugged area in the south unit, but I heard the north unit's very rugged. So a lot of pretty sights, but you can just see forever.
I could imagine. Huh.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. You'd see like bison on top of like not mountains, but very large bluffs or hills, like miles out. It was pretty incredible to see.
That's not what I was. So it's just Badlands National Park, but
yeah, here
smaller,
I can send you some pictures to see if you agree with me.
Interesting.
But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed hiking there when we had some free moments in between the conference.
Okay.
But yeah, very pretty.
Did you get yourself a map?
A map?
Yeah, because Phil got me into this. And I got into it after the sand dunes, and I didn't get a map for the sand dunes because the sand dunes don't really have trails. You just walk into the sand dunes, and that's it. Yeah. I've got maps. So at some point in my life, I'll have to get one from the sand dunes. But wow, I am making a mess here.
Yeah, no, I don't have a map of it, but I did send you some pictures. So.
Well, don't worry. When we go, we'll discuss that in a moment. But yeah, there's Black Canyon of the Gunnison, Rocky Mountain, Mesa Verde, and Petrified Forest. Those are not in order.
All good parks.
Yeah. But me, I'm a map guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have duplicate Iowa maps because I bought this one, but it kind of defeated the purpose of the other maps. I bought the Missouri one, but I got my free South Dakota map, my free Nebraska map. Actually, it's out of date now because the governor has changed. Little rickets on the back. Got my Iowa one, my Minnesota one, my North Dakota one, and the Missouri one. I don't have a lot. I've been to 20 states, and I have, 6 maps. So, not doing a very good job. But they're hard to get. They're not... Because you have to be on the interstate, and you have to be in just the right part of the interstate to get one, and it's a whole thing. And, okay, let's
very
look at
tricky.
This. 14 enchantments. Holy crap. This is not what I was expecting. Yeah, this reminds me of when I was in Albuquerque.
Yeah, it is.
Just recently.
Yeah, pretty open.
No kidding. Huh. Well, I'll be damned.